Hello everybody, it is I, Miss Willow. You probably haven't seen me upload in a couple days. That is because right now I have been going through a very, very intriguing and painful time of my life right now. And I am going to be making a story about it here. I am going to share the life story of one of my best friends. Her name is Ulla, and she is a manduka moth that I raised from a caterpillar. And her story blows me away. God gave her and me one of the best miracles I could have possibly imagined, and I want to share this story of hope that anything is possible, and share with you guys such a wonderful and also painful but beautiful experience that happened, and a little explanation of what I have been dealing with for the last multiple months. So here we go. A while ago, I have had this sudden urge of interest in moths and taking care of moths. I don't really remember where the urge came from. Up on the screen is a picture I drew of my Ulla. She is a beautiful, beautiful manduka moth that I raised from a caterpillar, and I had drawn out her life cycle a while back, drawing out the different stages of her life before she's a moth, and I felt like I needed to order this batch, so I did, and there the story begins. I created this beautiful little home for them, and the biggest one, the biggest, healthiest one, Ulla, is going to outlive all the rest. She was the most healthiest caterpillar I ever saw. Here is the beautiful house. I had anticipated their arrival so much, and I wanted to create a beautiful little sanctuary for them. And once they arrived, they absolutely loved it. And I took to Ulla very immediately. She was the largest of them all, very healthy too. Here is a picture of her in my hands, I think the first day or two that I got her. Beautiful blue color, so curious. And in a second you can see how beautiful she is interacting with me and how I praise her.
Look at this adorable little munchkin! He's gonna turn into a beautiful big moth. So cute! I'm gonna have to make nectar for him. And he's gonna eat all the tomato plants, aren't you? You're so cute! Aww, hello! Aww, how's the silly little munchkin? How are you? You're gonna turn into such a beautiful big moth, right? You're so cute.
Eating out of my hands, straight out of my hands, the tomato leaves.
Don't eat her pillow. Eat the green. Stop eating her pillow.
Beautiful little creature. And I loved hand feeding her. She was so special to me and still is. She is one of the most incredible creatures I have ever seen, if not the most. I was so happy to be able to have this experience, to feed her and love her. Watch her grow every day. Sometimes it seemed twice as large within a couple nights. It was amazing. And she loved me so much as well. You could see how much time I spent with her, the patience I had, and she had patience with me. I loved it. I even fed her many different types of food that I thought would be healthy for her, and you can see her loving this banana and enjoying it that night. Then she got huge.
She has grown so much. She's literally like a cucumber. She's literally like a mini cucumber. I don't know how I got a caterpillar this large, but she must be so healthy because if you look at the size, she is way larger than like any of the rest of my caterpillars, who I believe are the same age. She's already got that vein. You can see that black line in her back, just kind of fading in and out. I believe that's a really good sign. She is absolutely massive.
She had shown every sign I could tell that she was going to turn into a beautiful chrysalis. And eventually, I looked in there and I saw the most rewarding thing. I opened it up And there comes a beautiful green and brown new chrysalis.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, Ulla did it! Ulla finally shed her caterpillar skin. She is now a chrysalis, a cocoon, a pupa. I'll call it a pupa. Oh my gosh, but she did it! I can't believe it. I just turned around and I saw that she did that, and I was like, oh my gosh, I knew she could make it. Oh my gosh, Ulla, you did such a good job, baby. Oh my gosh, I'm so proud. Oh my gosh. Oh wow. How beautiful. Let's all wish her the best of luck. Oh my gosh, I cannot wait. I knew she would be able to turn into a beautiful moth. You're gonna do it, baby. You're gonna do it. I have faith in you. Alright, thank you guys so much for watching. Wish her luck. I am so excited. Bye.
Many more days went by, her chrysalis changing colors. And I've read that it shouldn't take that long for them to hatch. 7 to 14 days, maybe up to 3 weeks, something around that. I'm not even sure. But it kept going.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow, that's beautiful quality. This is day 2 of Ulla's pupa, her little chrysalis here. So I can see the details. Yesterday she was half green. Now she's really starting to get some color. I can even see where her antenna and her wings are gonna go. Her eyes are gonna be huge. So this is what day 2 looks like. This is day 3 of Ulla's chrysalis. Much more darker, so healthy. I am excited. She is gonna turn into a beautiful sphinx moth. Wish her luck. Day 4 of what Ulla's chrysalis or pupa transformation looks like. I am so excited. She is still doing very well, very healthy. And here in my hand is Ulla. She's doing great. This is day 5 of her pupa or chrysalis transformation. This is what it looks like. She's doing so good. Wish her luck. Bye, everyone. Be happy today. This is either day 8 or 9 of Ulla's chrysalis. She's doing great. Just earlier, I walked in and I saw her wiggling a little bit. I really having a feeling she's getting ready to emerge. I am so excited for that day. My baby girl's doing such a good job, and I can't wait to make her first nectar. Okay. Ulla is still doing very good. This is day 26, I believe, of her chrysalis. Wish her happy hatching.
A lot of time had went by. I have started to become nervous of her transformation, whether it would happen or not. With an air-conditioned house, I was very worried that it was wicking too much moisture away from her. So I had read up on ways that I could help a chrysalis. I had learned about misting them with water, and I gave her little baths, room temperature, just long enough that no water could seep in as far as I knew and was concerned. I tried my best. I tried my best to make sure she was moisturized and happy and warm in my hand and doing really well. The days of the 20s went into the 30s. The 30s went into the 40s. Moths don't live that long. Moths usually live like 1 to 3 weeks. Max 3 weeks. The longest Manduka moth I have ever heard of lived to be in the 40s of days. And I don't even know if it's living after that. And her chrysalis itself, not even the caterpillar, her chrysalis itself was over 40 days old, I believe by this point. And I became worried. I started documenting her trying very hard, every day struggling to thrash. You'd think I would just chip open a little bit of the chrysalis, but if I'm wrong and it's not time and she's still a soup in there, I would kill her. That would not be good. I would be devastated. So I waited. I could not be wrong about the time, so I tried my best to let her do what she needed. Time kept going by. Me more excited that that would be the day that she would hatch. No, that never happened. And boy, did time go by. time and time and new location and recording after recording of me thinking this was gonna be the moment. Her wiggling and time lapse, her thrashing, her struggling. It was heartbreaking to me. It was very heartbreaking. A lot had changed. Every single time I would come home, my family would tell me that she wouldn't have moved a muscle until I spoke to her. "Ulla, baby girl, I'm home, I missed you!" And she would start thrashing, wildly, so excited. She got new patterns on her wings. I thought, oh wow, she might just be a late bloomer. Here's some pictures of the little patterns and blotches that are on her wings. And then a little video of me trying to help her hatch by holding her down a slight bit with a little napkin or little cloth. She's trying very hard. I get really excited when I see that movement because I think it's about to happen, but I would doubt that after a little while. Time went by and she just kept trying and trying. One night, I woke up multiple times and went and checked on her, and every single time throughout the night, probably 10 or more hours, she had no break, as far as I knew, of thrashing and trying so hard, expelling so much of her energy trying to get out of this cocoon that I could not tell if it was ready yet, so I could not help her. My experience with helping any sort of insect shed its skin ends badly, so I would be devastated if I was the reason that she died or got hurt. But she kept trying, I kept recording her, trying to think of the moment that she bursts through that cocoon, that casing, and finally takes her socks off and stays a while. I would tell her, take off your coat, take off your jacket, baby girl, it's time, it's summertime. Even though it really wasn't. But what is she didn't know that. But I tried very, very hard. And she worked very hard. You can see right here she's trying. And this wasn't even the most she's thrashed. It would get to the point where she would be so lively in that cocoon that I would look over and go, oh my gosh, baby, calm down, are you okay? She tried. She tried. She put in a real effort. And you would understand how my hesitation would be to try and chip a piece or two off, to try and help her. It's not in nature for something to help another creature emerge from a cocoon. And, you know, too much time went by. A lot too much time went by. The days were in the 40s. I believe her chrysalis got to day 46, and I was scared. I was really worried. I had a terrible, terrible experience seeing her suffer. And I even got it on video the day before the big thing happened. She tried so hard, as you're about to see. She tried so hard. This clip, I believe, is over an hour and a half worth of footage of her just non-stop trying. It was heartbreaking to see just how excited she was to finally be free. I couldn't imagine a life. To me, it's just having a moth for a couple months, but to her, this is her entire life, and I couldn't imagine the pain trying to live. It happened. The next day arrived. The next day did arrive, and it wasn't a good day. I'm just gonna say it was one of the hardest days of my entire life. I loved her so much, and I do still. I love her so much in a way I can't understand that I would cry in the sunlight with her, like she was an animal familiar of mine. So important to me. I'm still overcoming it today, as I make this video for her, but this is the story. Now the story gets to the tissue part. It's not a good story until afterwards, but you'll see what happens. Maybe it's not a good story for anyone. I don't know. We'll see. A couple nights earlier, I had a dream. Back when she was still healthy-ish, I had a dream that night that I sat out with her on the patio, and she hatched in my hand in the spot of sunlight, sitting right in the patio, right in the back patio, just having full bliss in her hatching. And I take my dreams very psychically. One day, I come home from work, and I go up to her. "Baby girl, I'm home!" Usually she would start wiggling around, loving my voice, excited to see me. No movement, nothing. Her chrysalis had become blackened. I was so nervous. "Baby girl, are you okay? Are you alive? Are you just resting?" Me and my mother fiddled her. She showed every single sign of death in the chrysalis. When you bent her, she would stay bent. When you shone the flashlight through her, you could see her moth inside of her kind of shriveled up without much, not filling the cocoon, not having enough moisture, or maybe the opposite, just dying in there, and it wouldn't even move. Lots of time went by, fiddling, hours. She was dead. She had a crack in her, which she had, but when an insect gets too wet, it can drown, especially if she can't move in there, and the chrysalis was too hard to get out. And by the time when I was giving her little baths with water to help the chrysalis soak up a little bit, maybe that water seeped in, because I chipped through the crack a little bit, and her black fur came out of the end. It smelled terrible. It reeked of rot. It reeked of death. And she wouldn't move. Hours went by, still same thing. No response. I spent the entire day, I tell you, I spent the entire day crying like I lost a family member, like I lost a daughter, like I lost a best friend. I cried, and I took a shower, pretended to hold the chrysalis. And you know when somebody walks in the room and you can tell it's them, not even by looking at them, you can feel their essence in a way. I believe in spirits. And I'm pretty sure that she died, and I could feel all the memories flooding in of her. I felt her energy with me at that moment. Just sad witnessing me so distraught over her. I love her so much. And I went down and I brought her dead chrysalis to the patio, rancid smelling. In the middle of the day, I sat there on the patio where I sat in the dream, and this big moth flew around me. This big moth, the universe gives you signs, and this big moth circled me, and I went, "Oh, thanks, moth, not now." And then I looked again, and there was this little thing rattling on the fake tree in front of me, and it was a little moth pin. I'd never seen it before. So I picked it up, and I started rubbing it, and I felt so bad. So I had this sudden urge to pick at her cocoon. If she was dead, it wouldn't have made a difference, and if she was alive, who knows. I started picking at it just to reveal it was so easy. If she had lived one more day, she could have broken through, I believe. It was so soft, my fingernail went through it like butter. I picked it apart to reveal a fully developed moth trapped inside and dead and rancid smelling. Her eyes, I picked apart where the legs were, and I could see her fully developed leg. It smelled really bad. But then all of a sudden I looked down. I started crying, my baby girl, no. And I looked down, and her legs started moving. I was not sure if it was a muscle spasm and she was dead, but she started trying to pump her leg through and break out of the chrysalis immediately. So I rushed inside. I think Ulla's alive. I think she's alive. She made it. And I started picking apart piece by piece. I sat there giving myself the biggest headache for her life, picking apart every little piece, trying to save her. And she had lived. My beautiful, beautiful moth lived. And I swear she came back from the dead as a near-death experience to have one more day with me as a free moth, not suffering.
Please, honey. Please. Do you see that? Please, honey. Are you trying? Oh, honey, baby frightened. My baby girl.
I had to slowly and so carefully pick apart her chrysalis, trying to free her. She was wet and rancid, and it was so heartbreaking for me to see. My poor little moth was so excited to hatch, and we'd all think that she died. And then a miracle, God gave her a miracle, and she lived. And here is more progress on me picking apart the cocoon. Of course, not all of it could come off, some was fused. I knew there was no way in God's name that my baby girl, my Ulla, wouldn't make it. Double tongue. I'm so sorry, honey, that's something wrong. I quickly took out her tongue very carefully before she fused it together, tried so hard to make some sugar water and nectar for her so that she could finally get energy. She was so weak she couldn't move a muscle. She twitched a little bit, tried to wiggle her legs, but she could not move. She might forever have been this way, and there would be nothing really I could do. She has been in the cocoon too long. She could not move. I had to hold her. Drinky, Miss Two Tongues. Hope you're able to drink. I hope that's not a unnatural split. My moth. Oh my God, she lived. Oh, thank you so much, God. My moth. My Ulla, she lived. Oh, thank you so much for giving her a second chance. The poor thing was so excited. Oh, my moth. I love you, honey. You're so amazing. Oh, sweetheart. Just keep drinking, please. Get some energy. Oh, moth. I love you. I love you so much, sweet baby. I love you, honey. You could see she's getting more energy. She's moving. She's so weak. She can't even open her own shell. She would have died. We already thought she died. There's a foul smell. It's probably from the shell. Because she's okay. She just must have starved. Couldn't make it out. If I waited any longer thinking she was dead, she would have starved. And she's so weak she couldn't even open her shell. Oh, baby moth. Ulla, you're so beautiful. I'm so happy. Oh, thank you, gods. Thank you, whoever. Thank you, world. Thank you so much for saving my baby girl. You are so lucky, sweetheart. You are so lucky. You are the strongest of them all. You are the strongest of them all. I've always told you that. You are the strongest of them all. Absolutely. I never doubted you for a second, darling. You are so lucky. Do you realize this gift God has given you? And me? I spent the whole day ugly crying because I thought you died.
I ugly cried all day and now I have the worst headache. But it's so worth it for you. Oh, baby. I'm so proud. Oh, I'm so proud of you, honey. Her wings are starting to peel apart. It's been like an hour of me feeding her. Wow. Oh my god, she was starving. Her wings are starting to dry up. You can start to see her color. She's no longer just dark. My moth. You did it. Oh, my moth is so strong. Ulla, you're the strongest of them all.
I prepared her for the night to drink. I was up many times in the night to on and off feed her. And every time I got up, I prayed. I went over, baby girl, are you alive? And guess what? She lived to morning. And that morning I made her a breakfast of many different mixed fruits, many different baby food purees that were organic and had lots of fun nutrition and were full of sugars and happy food. And this is her in the morning after I peeled off the end of her cocoon very carefully in case she were to make a movement. I did not want that infecting or leaching back into her. That would be very bad, so I had to expose the tip of her abdomen for that. As you see, it's sticking out from the cocoon. That part of the cocoon would not come off easy, and I could not risk puncturing her. It had gouged into her, almost growing into her, and no wonder she couldn't come out of the cocoon. It was not gonna come off. Much later did I slowly have it dry out and got to pick off most of it and reveal her spots. But this is the best I could have now, and it's just worth her life. She got to experience being a moth and feeling the sunlight on her. I brought her out in the sun. She got to feel sunlight. She got to feel the breeze in her little dusts, her little furs. She got to experience for a day what she could never have. And that gift that the world gave her is so beautiful. Anything is possible. Anything is possible. If my moth could come back from the dead to spend a day with me and to spend a day living free as she could, even if she had muscle atrophy, could not move, I had to give her physical therapy. You can see she's trying so hard afterwards to move her legs more. She was just in there for so long. That night, she started to slow down again. I got really worried. She slowed down. She stopped drinking a bunch. She had a hard time curling her tongue again. I had gotten, as you see, all the shell off except for a couple strands stuck inside her. She had not made any bowel movement that I was aware of since hatching, in quotes. And that night it happened. I'm still waiting to see if she'll come back to life or not. But that night, I got up this morning and she was gone. I believe in spirits, and I believe a spirit can choose to stay and be with people, and I knew she loved me so much. I was going to make her a spirit doll moth for her to be in when the time comes that she passes, and in case she wanted to stay with me a little longer, or however long she wanted. I missed her, and I made that doll for her that night just in time. I stayed up the extra 20 minutes to finish it, and I feel like she waited long enough to move on for when I had a comfy little moth for her to be in, and then she died. This is the little cute moth that I crocheted for her to be in. It has little droopy antennae just like her, and I wrapped her in her baby blanket that she struggled and had all her life with, and I wrapped her in it, and I'm carrying around today feeling like she's in it. I love her so much, and she is such a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful soul, and she deserves much more love. Even after her life, she will continue getting love from me and attention and care. Don't mind my crying face, but I love her so much. That's a beautiful thing. Oh. That is a story of my Ulla. I hope the story continues, and I am holding her right now, her little spirit doll moth, and we all feel like she's in it. We feel like she held out for me. I feel like she died and then came back to life for one last chance to spend one day as a moth, free out of her shell, without suffer. And she's so beautiful. This is a story, and I want to teach you guys that anything is possible. And this miracle changed my life. And I love her so much. And if I could love a moth so much, you should appreciate all that you have in your life. All the people, all the pets, everything. Every little life is so beautiful. Ulla, you're beautiful. Thank you so much for being in my life, baby girl. You are beautiful.